tremendous contribution of Mitch Blank and army of hypnotist collectors who went through so much of this material and made sense out of what was just jumbled up electrons. Thank you, Mitch.
Well, maybe I'll open it up now and see, are there any, right there?
Yeah. All right. There was a lot left out of. We did show the Tompkins Square riot a little bit, but there's a whole history on the Lower East Side that Bob Fass is responsible for making famous, for helping us when he put us on his program. I'm one of the squatters on the Lower East Side, and one day I called Bob up, and we just got evicted from one of the buildings on Houston Street. And I said to Bob, we just got evicted. So Bob said, come on up. We talk about it. Every time there was something on the Lower East Side that had to do with the squatters, Bob said, sure, come on up, bring your friends. And that's what I did. Thank you, Bob Fass.
I just want to say something about Carl, if I can. I went down there early in the morning after they'd been evicted. They were standing huddled on the pavement, and we brought coffee, and they were sitting and drinking coffee and talking about what had happened. And wouldn't you know it, a police car comes driving up. And Carl ran out to the police car and started pounding on it with his bare fists, saying, what are you doing here? You're not welcome here. Get out here. We're evicting you. And they left.
I'd just like to point out, I can't do that anymore. After innumerable arrests on the Lower East Side, I can't do that anymore. The cops know who I am. They'll arrest me instantly.
Okay. This time.
I'd like to know how you came in contact with Bob Fass in the first place. What made you decide to make this movie, and what convinced Bob to allow you to do it?
Well, for those who didn't hear the question, is how we found out about Bob and Radio Unnameable and approaching him about the project. And I had co-directed a previous film called The Holy Modal Rounders Bound to Lose. And one half of the founders of The Holy Modal Rounders, Peter Stample, who's here tonight, when we were making that film, he would tell us about this radio show that's just unlike any radio show you've ever heard then, today. And they went on the show while we were making the film, but that was the first time we had started listening. And then we also got wind that he was sitting on a substantial archive. So that kind of really pushed us to feel that there a movie could be made. And so we approached Bob probably a little over 5 years ago. And they, couldn't have been, Bob and his wife Lenny couldn't have been more generous with their, giving us access to them, their collection, their time, and it was, that was the easy part right there.
Thank you.
I also want to say something else about the people at Texer, who, we had a lot of material on a hard drive. Everyone knows what an enormous hard drive can hold, and it crashed. And they found a way to restore it. And that was wonderful.
Thank you, Ted.
I'd just like to remind everybody that WBAI and the Pacifica Foundation is still here and needs your money. We really appreciate it. If you contribute, and you can certainly put as part of your check that this is to support Bob Fass and Radio Unnameable.
may be too early to say, but I'd like to know if there's possibly going to be like a sequel to this or something.
David Amram calls his, the movie that's been made documenting his wonderful life, calls it the first 80 years. This is only 50 years, so. But sure, why not?
I just want to say that I think this is one film that's worthy of its subject, because I think the film is so brilliant, and it pits this wonderful friend of all of us. Thank you.
Well, we were on the waiting list, and I started a mini revolution to get in, and now I want to be on the radio, so I'm going to call you and a lot of money, because I'm a big talker, a loud, noisy person. I really want to be heard. And Joey and Andrea and my people on the waiting list, they know who I am. So,
Thank you, and I hope Peter Stample will come up too and play. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, I'll do it.
I hope you'll all listen.
Oh, Bob, I just want to thank you for supporting Steve Van Israel for so many years.
Yeah.
That was a lovely tribute that you gave him the other night on the air on Radio Unnameable. Really appreciated it. Very
And
nice.
I can't tell you how many times we spent together where most of the conversation was about you and his love for you.
Has any university expressed interest in the archives? Has any university expressed interest in the archives?
Well, yes, someone is interested. The archive is presently in an air-conditioned facility in Maryland. And there's a university that's in a much colder climate that is interested.
Fingers crossed.
Did you ever consider, Bob, or the filmmakers of putting it on the web? So more people can get it.
It is on the web.
Well, actually, the question was if we consider putting any of it on the internet. And we are, if you go to our website, radioenabledmovie.com, we're putting little, because what you hear here, it's edited. So there's, to really do it justice is to listen to the program over a period of time. So we're trying to put some complete reels. If you go to the page under the audio, you can listen, and if you can find us on Facebook, we're going to keep putting more up in the coming weeks. So, it's nothing compared to what's the scope that's there, but at least you can hear a little bit more than in the film.
Thank you.
I look forward to listening. Thank you for everybody for making the film. I look forward to listening all week. And then one of the worst feelings I have is waking up at like 3:30 and realizing I fell asleep. And I got it through osmosis, but it's a frustrating thing. So I wish sometimes I could hear some of the shows that I got through osmosis.
You can. It's, all the BAI shows are archived, and you can listen to them online, WBAI.org, which you can also listen to live.
And after Radio Unnameable goes off the air, Ibrahim Gonzalez comes on with In the Moment.
How come you can't download the Radio Unnameable show in the archive? You can only stream it from that page.
Well, because there's recorded music in it in most cases.
That's what I thought.
And the recorded and the copyrights would just be, the expense of doing that would be just massive. We couldn't afford it. and we're not allowed to. But there are ways.
The soundtrack to the movie is really incredible. Would you guys want to talk a little bit about how you selected the music?
Actually, there's someone here who we want to point out his contribution is Jeffrey Lewis, who did the original. And that was a difficult part because there's, it's just countless bands and musicians have gone through Bob's orbit. So it's just what to choose, what to show, but and a lot of it is like rights too, and so we tried to get as good of a sampling as we could get, and we're really proud of what's in there. And then there's some songs that were just off records that we felt fit the period, and then also there's songs like, for example, during the fly-in and in 1977, the music that you're hearing as those events are being talked about came directly off of the tape. We didn't even bother getting the CD or the MP3. It just sounded so much better coming off this reel-to-reel. And it's stuff that Bob was playing a lot around the time of those events. So there's a lot in there.
There's somebody over here that's been raising his hand for a long time. It's my view, so why
Bob's voice was the first I ever heard on BAI. Coming home from the laboratory, I was working with rats all night long. I was tired to go to bed, and I turned on the radio in the darkness. I heard all this weird shit. Skipping ahead, fast forward to now. Alex Steinberg reminded people that BAI still exists. However, as a member of the Finance Committee, I'm telling you, just barely. And if somebody wants to do something for Bob and for the station that keeps broadcasting him now, go home if you're on Facebook, take one night a week, or if you can't do it every night, at least once a week, put a notice, post it on your own wall or on some
that's a great idea.
page that you have, and say, BAI 99.5 New York City, okay, and WBAI.org. And if you can do a little more, list the name of the program that you know of. If each person did that and asked their Facebook friends to relay the message, we might get enough listeners to support the station.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to respond. WBAI has a payroll of about $1.5 million. When some of that starts going to Bob, I'll start sending the station money again. The film was wonderful. Great job, Paul and Jessica. Bob, it's great to see you, and it's great that a movie was made in your honor. It was a terrific movie.
Great movie. I noticed that the music sections from the programs, I guess you got that from the Airchecks, they sounded so great. Was there a lot of enhancement of the Airchecks done of those musical selections?
Surprisingly not. The tapes were actually in pretty good condition. We had some really amazing people helping us transfer the material, and we had an incredible sound mixer. Benny and Brian are here tonight, and so we were really fortunate that we had everything, pretty much everything that we ended up transferring and using was in good, solid condition.
Sounded great.
And I would like to say that the original masters are in such great shape because of some of the people who were in this room and some of the engineers who worked at BAI, Nancy, Alan, Jan, Albert. There are people, Dick Dominis, people who really made a tremendous contribution to making clean and powerful sound. It's not that easy.
Yes. Hi, Bob. It meant a lot to me when I was younger. You mean a lot to me now. I lost you for a number of years, and I thank the filmmakers for helping me know what was happening to you during those years. And I'd love to know when, how other people can see this movie.
Yes.
Where is it going? Is it going somewhere? I'd like my children to see it, not my grandchildren. Yeah.
Yeah, well, program's on now. It's carried, there's someone here from WFTE, which is in Scranton, Pennsylvania mostly, and they carry the program, and it's carried from time to time on other stations, but you can listen to it on the web.
The film.
24 hours a day from our archive.
No,
So
the-
for
and-
2 weeks, I think.
And the film, we are playing more film festivals. We are trying to secure distribution. We hope to have a theatrical run sometime in the next several months. Anyone who is interested and wants to become our Facebook friend, fan, or go onto our website and join our mailing list, we can keep everyone posted as the film progresses.
Is it coming out on DVD?
And eventually on DVD and online.
I want to talk to the film editor. I was very struck by the suicide section where you took, water and you took various elements to tell the story visually. I thought that was great. Can you tell us about what because you probably were not a kid listening to Bob as I was. Yeah, I was just saying, Bob, I really like the visual editing, particularly, with that suicide section, where the water was there. I just thought it was very moving that it was, making it as one with the station, and with what Bob was doing. And I was saying, I listened to you when I was young, but he is still young. So, so how did you sort of become one with Bob and his show as you were editing? Talk to us about that.
That scene, actually, it hasn't changed a whole lot from the first version of it, and in a testament to all the footage that Paul and Jessica got, we had a lot to choose from, and that footage was from, I don't remember what the source of it was, but
Anthology Film
Anthology.
Archives.
So there was a lot of stuff shot out in the Boardwalk in Coney Island, and that was always a big question. We knew we had that scene to cut. We knew, we thought we wanted to put it in the film, but as we were developing our story actually, and working on other scenes that seemed much bigger than we ever imagined, we were sort of saying, initially, maybe we don't use it. Maybe there's no room for it, maybe it doesn't fit the story. And then we started putting it together and realized how important it was. And that footage, it was a complete mood. And no, that was our composer. So it was Jeffrey Lewis. Yeah. So it was one of those great moments where everything kind of came together.
Very nice.
Honestly, the source material was so strong and so rich, and the story was so overwhelming that those scenes almost become effortless because it's already laid out for you. You're just sort of picking right thing, and it all just comes together.
Very good.
So one final question, right there.
When Karen Dalton died, one of my biggest regrets is that there didn't seem to be a recording of her doing what I thought was the greatest thing she ever did, which was the Walker Brothers' Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore on a 12-string guitar with an open tuning. And I looked everywhere trying to find people that had a recording of that, and it turned up on your tapes. And I heard that it was found. So my question is, isn't there some of the tapes material that could be released, and could some money be brought in that way? I mean, like the world needs to hear that particular track very badly.
She was really wonderful. Great. Karen Dalton. I noticed that. Great heart, great performer, and a very inspiring musician. I think she may not be known to everyone in this room, but many, many musicians were moved and influenced by her. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. And also, I'd just like to remind everyone that Simeon Cox from the Silver Apples will be playing in the cafe in less than an hour. And you can go up now, the bar's open. It's easiest to go up by this door, so you'll know. But thanks again to everyone, and